pastor. Your priest lives across the street from me.
Yeah, that figures. Frank is one of a kind.
He's a nice guy. He's a good neighbor.
I've known him for a really long time. He used to be a runner with Tommy and Dale and all those guys. And, he used to be in the group that I played poker with, but he hasn't come to play with us in a long time. Actually, one of the poker group's guy and is Bob Schwartz. And I just talked to Bob tonight.
Was he in the hospital?
Yes, he had back surgery.
Was it like as anticipated or was it emergency?
It was not emergency. It was not emergency, but it was a big deal.
But it wasn't. But this was a planned surgery.
Yes.
And he's home.
He's home now.
I called him the other day, but I didn't get in touch with him.
He said, and you know why? Because I did the same thing. The only phone number I had was their landline.
I think that's the only one we have in the system. Do you have his other one?
I do. I have his cell phone.
Will you email it to me?
Sure.
Or text it to me? Yeah.
Right, do that.
Oh, so you called his phone number too?
Yeah. And then he said, hey, this is our home number, our landline. And I said, yeah, we have that too, because it's part of the charter package deal. And you kind of...
Right. And my kids are like, what's a landline?
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Ooh.
Did anyone come at 6, Stephen?
I don't think so. But I wasn't at the door, so.
Oh, just to Stephen.
Oh, wow. Rabbi, I don't have your number.
That's good.
646.
Hold on.
I like those shoes. Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm Mel Weinswig.
I saw that you have a name on the Kaddish list.
I don't know. Should we make a
I
day?
was just there
Say hi to
today.
you.
I go there way too often. Ask Dale.
Yeah.
She goes, Greg, Costco is
Yeah,
not
good
a
to see
convenience
you.
store.
Things going well?
Yeah, things are going really well.
Good.
Like, people have been very kind, and it's been a really good community for us.
2 gallons.
I'm hearing is
You know, I mean,
very positive,
and-
so
Fooled
that's good.
someone, so that's
Well,
nice.
from the
So-
lot of them.
That's true. It's nice. So,
this,
yeah. So, have you've been here for a long time?
We've been here over,
even if you have 3
we've
hours.
been here since
I don't buy that.
69,
I just buy my
56 years.
And you were the president at that time.
Yes.
And tires.
That's my wife.
Oh, you were the first couple.
Not-
No, there was one other Tobias as well.
Oh, Marge and Harry were both of
On
us.
my list of
And they got their kids to do it too, so that's really good. Yeah,
salmon,
So we have a lot of good memories.
that's wonderful.
Yes, salmon.
stuff from
Nice events.
the produce
Yeah,
section.
so you Rabbi Swarsinski well.
Rabbis,
Totally.
Chocolate
marriages, and
Oh,
everything.
you
Great,
were cute.
that's so
That
great.
must be the visual.
Where do you
Because
live?
that's what
Just
you
a
were
little
looking
bit
for.
far.
But
You probably never
and
mentioned
that's when I
it's called
got-
Orchard Ridge. So it's less than 5
Yeah.
10 minutes away.
Okay. Well, I'd love to get a cup of coffee or something like that.
That would be great. I'd love to.
I'll remind, try to remember to
Please
reach
do,
out.
I would love to. I know Margaret had called and I had coffee with her.
Oh, that's
a few weeks
nice.
ago.
She's doing really well.
She is.
Yeah, she's like, it's a big thing,
well,
so.
that's what I think.
Hi, Seymour, nice to meet
How are
you. How are you?
All right.
Offices.
Yeah.
So it's like a
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
thing
get
today
my
about
I don't think I need it.
the
no, probably.
Yeah.
joining the choir.
Some
Hi,
friends or
Seymour,
something.
nice to meet you. Shalom.
Shalom.
And I'm not introducing you to her.
Everything is good. Seymour just joined us, just started.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is Melvin. He's been at the synagogue for 60 years almost.
Yeah, long time.
So, yeah.
We haven't run away yet.
All right, I'm ready.
Right.
What,
646
646, where's that? Okay.
300 2509. So Bob's, but he's back home.
Yes, he's back home.
Do you know Bob Schwartz?
Yes.
He had back surgery
Oh, I didn't know.
last week.
Oh, really? How's he doing?
I talked to him today.
Sounds like he's heading in the right direction.
Definitely.
Even
You
if
start
it's
swimming soon then?
I don't know. Well, it's probably going to be good for him to swim.
Right, the water would be the best exercise rather than have him running, so that would be good.
Well, he just had the surgery this past week. Let's see, what's today, Friday?
playing cards.
I don't think he, I think it was last Wednesday, not 3 days ago Wednesday.
Well, I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah.
We can change.
Give him my regards if you talk to him, please.
Tell me your name.
Mel Weinswig.
Mel Weinsman. Okay.
I'll give him a call next
Greg
week.
Sessler, by the way.
Yes,
Well, you know how it goes.
I know. If you would have asked me what's your name, I would have said, who is that?
I know. All right.
Well, yeah, I would love to get together. I'm glad that Marta reached out, so you had a cup of coffee with her or something. That's great. Yeah.
I have been around too much to watch you. So.
Yeah, well, we can connect, so totally.
Kids are doing okay?
Yeah, one's at Little League right now.
Oh, good for him.
Loves baseball, baseball all the time. Yeah, that's the oldest. And the other one does baseball too. And the big conversations our oldest wants to tackle football. And his mother doesn't think a nice Jewish kid should play tackle football.
We kind of like my kids all very athletic. Football is on.
Yeah, I
They
think
had
football.
baseball.
Baseball,
they had
basketball.
soccer, and swimming.
So, but I think, yeah, baseball. So, you know, Ezra, like, as we speak, he's at a Little League game. So,
See, this is out here in Madison.
yeah, West Madison. So, yeah.
Spent any time out
I'm
there.
sure he did. I'm sure he did. So, Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for talking about
Of course. Hi, guys. It's nice to see you again. So remind me your name. Seymour? And Alan, that's right. Oh.
Seymour is me, this guy is Timur.
Good to see you. How you doing?
You, how are you?
Good. Nice to see you again. 2 weeks in a row. What is this?
How you been?
Good.
So it's nice to see you. So last time you were there, a lot of kids
What you got? How's the move coming?
moved.
Oh, you did? Marvel's awesome.
This week.
And unpacking, how long is that
And we
gonna
sold
take?
the next Friday.
Wow, that's fast. So, when did you move?
Where you moving? Thursday on the weekend. We moved 7 over the shore.
That's a nice.
June.
When there is an opening to sign up kids for school.
That's a relief.
Okay. It's an old school.
It's hard. You know, just getting rid of
Shabbat
things
shalom,
like that.
Rabbi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Done. We can answer the question finally.
You sold your house?
Yes, we moved. We
Wow.
sold our house.
Wow.
We moved the piano. We can breathe.
Did you carry it yourself?
Yes, of course I did. There were 4 guys. We get to showcase 7 offers on Monday. Took the best one on Monday night. Piano moved on Tuesday. The rest of the furniture on Wednesday. Thursday, I think we took a rest. And Friday, we moved the rest of it out for the inspection. And Shabbat is perfect.
Wow. That's awesome.
Go to the home drive and have some wine. And go to sleep.
On a bed, not an air bed. We've been for 3 weeks. Air bed. Air mattress. Air mattress. Air mattress. The worst thing in the world. They were. We felt like we were camping. But it was functional. It made it work.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear the house went so
So we are too. We are too. Because there's really, particularly with all this stuff going on, with you know, people being paid off and stuff, and not sure what's going on. I was just reading an article about they think housing is going to be, and people are postponing buying. Yes, so we're blind, you know, so we just wanted to finish June 9th is closing. This is,
It's really nice.
so that's really exciting. So, sort of like, you know, we were pretty young when we moved in, so.
Wow, those homes are still looking good.
Okay, mine is easier to find than yours.
I know, because you're a Z.
I tried to get it yesterday, there's so many G's, I couldn't find them.
Wow. Mazel tov, mazel tov.
So,
The best thing will be when you close it. Know that it's just,
You guys must be exhausted.
we've been exhausted for
well,
months.
you've been doing it for what, 6 months?
December 15th is when we put in the offer on the condo, so it's been that long, so. And we said if we're, yeah,
Have you done it?
yes.
Mazel tov. I'm so happy.
But the house was beautiful, it's like, you know, it's they, you know,
What's that, sir?
the realtors want everything except for essentials.
Actually,
Yeah, so it's like, what? You know, we left our furniture, that's why we were, yeah, so leave the beds, leave the couch, leave the dining room set, yeah, so,
So many times they want to decorate the size of
yeah,
the
yeah.
furniture.
Well, no, she was fine with it, so, yeah.
Marilyn and Sandy.
Okay, I do that, but I have my
Yes, we're.
All you have to do is sit.
Do you have one or not?
I just said to David, why didn't we come that now?
Last week. I did. You look good.
Okay, yes, consider nothing. Why are you so tan? Why are you so
In the backyard, just reading.
okay?
Did anyone drop their keys?
Do they, yeah?
Sunday.
I won't say who it was.
I don't drive on.
I lost my wallet. It's still.
This is Sandy.
It's still
We answered.
I'm convinced Winnie took it.
Oh, where are you? Okay, so you're here. That's nothing. Would I be? Nobody sits in the front row.
Just you. Cause it's held for you.
This is reserved for Tricia.
Yes.
I think we need, at some point, we're gonna break. We're just gonna come in and the room's gonna look different.
But don't take my chair, the two handle, okay?
No, I think it's one of those like, we gotta shake the, at some point, we're just gonna shake the complacency.
Maybe I should put candy on each.
That's right.
Coffee beans.
Or like musical chairs. We'll take one away after each prayer.
Love it.
All right. Let's join together. Page 128.
Join me in Ma Yafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Ma Yafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We'll do it one more time. Ma Yafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat,
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Cantor Nami texted me this morning and said he had to go to the Beyonce concert in Chicago, so could we ask Les and Dale to... No, that's not true, but he's under the weather. He's under the weather, and just how delightful that we have such amazing, talented musicians within our own community to help lead us in Shabbat worship. Let's just take a moment and turn to someone that you do not know or have not seen in a long time. You can even stand up and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Say hi. Well, you guys are roommates? You guys roommates?
No, we weren't roommates. And you want to do the last chat? Hi, Jane. He knows my daughter.
I think I know you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Where were you guys classmates?
That's nice.
You didn't get a stool.
We thought he'd prefer the chair.
You prefer the chair?
Do you prefer the chair? Did you want to be up here, like on a stool? Is it? I don't know. Steven thought that's what.
All right. There's more schmoozing to be had during the service or after the service. But let's light our Shabbat candles. Sandy and Marilyn are going to join us on the bima. We invite you to turn to page 120 as we welcome the essence of Shabbat through light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav V'tzivanu L'hadlik ner V'tzivanu L'hadlik ner Shel Shabbat Shel Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Blessed are you who commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Turn to page 142 as we sing the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Vo'achem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seizchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Turn back in your Siddur, in your prayer book, to page 138, where we'll sing the words of Lecha Dodi, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Right before verse 9, we'll rise as a community, and we'll face the door as we welcome Shabbat's presence into our community.
Yalalala Lecha Dodi, Yalalala Likrat Kala, Yalalala Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikabel, Yalalala Lecha Dodi, Yalalala Likrat Kala, Yalalala Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikabela, Shamor v'zachor, v'diur echad, v'ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Shemo echad, Shemo tiferet, Ve'lehilah, Yalalala Lecha Dodi, Yalalala Likrat Kala, Yalalala Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikabela, Likrat Shabbat, Lecho Benecha, Yibekor HaBeracha, Merosh V'Kedem, V'Simcha, Sof Maaseh, V'Machshava Tfilah, Lai, 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 Yalalala Lecha Dodi, Yalalala Likrat Kala, Yalalala Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikabela, Ito orderi, La ordei, Kamiuri, Shadaveri, Kivod Adonai, Halayit Tigla,
I invite you to rise once again. Bob never sat down. Baruch Hu, our formal call to worship, is on page 146.
Lie, 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 lie,
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Read with me on the top of 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravi. Let's sing the words together on the top of 150.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha
Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu v'chokenu, Neinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nishma b'divrei Toratecha, v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Chayenu be'orech yameinu, uvahem keyomam v'layla, keyomam v'layla. Al tasir imenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shekivot Shekivot Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shekivot Shekivot Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Seated. Chant the words on 154, the words of the V'ahavta together. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'eleh asher anochi misavecha hayom al levavecha
Vishinantam levadecha bidibartam baham bishivtecha bebetecha uvlechtecha
b'derech u'shofecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'vtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha v'ma'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai b'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, amen. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children in the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. 158. בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, אלינו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לי שנאמר כי פדאי את יעקב, וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Our nighttime prayer is our prayer for shelter and peace. The song that some of us sing every night or say every night before bed. It's a song of the shelter from darkness. It's the words of Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Turn to 162. Talking to a few people before services, and each in their own way, they said, we really needed Shabbat this week for whatever reason. So I'll invite you, just before we sing the words of Vishamrim, take a deep breath and think back upon your week. The week that was, the ups and downs, the blessings and the burdens. Think about when you really needed Shabbat. And we'll sing the words of Vishamrim.
V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam. Beritolam, beritolam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Beni uvein Yisrael, oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz uvayom v'hashvi'i shavat vayinafash.
Lovely. If you're able, we once again rise. Tonight we're going to actually chant the Amidah silently to their own personal prayers. We'll say the opening meditation together on 164. And then I just invite you to follow the words of the prayer book, if you'd like, to page 180. Or you can just let your mind wander, or you can focus and dwell just on one prayer or one page, wherever the Shabbat moment of silence takes you. We'll offer the opening meditation on 164.
Adonai Sifatai Tifta Ufia Gitehilate Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Say shalom, Imbrama. Hu yaseh shalom, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, yaseh shalom aleinu. Oh, say shalom, Imbrama. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'yakov, 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 Yisrael, ve'yakov. Yoshvei Tevel V'yimaru Amen V'yimaru Amen. We ask for peace on earth and we say Amen. V'yimaru Amen V'yimaru Amen. We raise our voice as one and we say Amen.
A prayer for healing is in the middle of 371. The Misha Berach Lecholim. I'll take it. The ability to offer prayers for those in need of renewal of body, renewal of spirit, renewal of mind. If you're praying for someone on this Shabbat or thinking of someone on this Shabbat you'd like to add to the Misha Berach, I invite you to share their name out loud at this time.
Lynn Hirsch, Bob Schwartz, Margaret Gunlock.
Harriet Ryder.
Bob Schwartz, Peter Graff.
Sing our prayer of healing together.
May the source of peace that bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
I had lunch with Erev today, Rabbi, and it was a great lunch. And we were talking about that today is actually, technically may have just ended a Jewish holiday, a minor Jewish holiday called Lag BaOmer. And I thought, first of all, what does anybody know about Lag BaOmer? What's fires? Yep, all right. So Jensen, bonfires, yep. Very good, all right. That's how we got the name. It was a holiday that was, who's never heard of Lag BaOmer ever in their whole life? And if that's the answer, that's good with me, all right. So a couple of people never heard of Lag BaOmer. So Lag BaOmer was a Jewish holiday that was created during the Cold War to confuse the Soviets. That's not true. None of that is true. Yeah. But I thought we could look just a little bit about Lag BaOmer. And if you're joining us streaming, Stephen is going to share in a link the exact thing that we're going to look at. But I figure when the stars align for us to have a Jewish holiday that falls on the day that we can learn something about and maybe can challenge us a little bit, we should learn a little bit about it. Sound good? Lynn's like, I have to say yes. So you're right here. I don't have a choice. We just actually pass all of these back. All right. Oh, and I forgot to give one to Dale and Les. So is there an extra one there? Do you have an extra? All right. Share right here. All right. So we heard a couple things about Lag BaOmer. We heard bonfires. We heard about the name Lag, right? The Lamed and the Gimel. So it really just signifies a number. This has sometimes happened in Jewish holidays at other times. If we think about like Tu B'Shvat or Tisha B'Av, they all about the Jewish holidays. But I'm looking at the side with the bullet points on the top. Lag BaOmer is a minor holiday that occurs on the 33rd day of the Omer, the 49-day period between Passover and Shavuot, which we are in the midst of right now. So we are in Lag BaOmer. Yeah, Marnie, go ahead. Oh, good, we're going to get there. So Marnie said, I think people might get married on Lag BaOmer. So that's one thing. And if anybody else have anything else that they know about Lag BaOmer? All right, well, by the end of the next hour and a half, you guys are going to know a ton about Lag BaOmer. So Lag BaOmer is not a biblical holiday at all, right? It's not a biblical holiday. Shavuot is a biblical holiday, Mount Sinai, and Passover, of course, is a biblical holiday. So we're counting between Passover, but it's not a biblical holiday. But the Torah does command the Jewish people to count the Omer, which is the 49 period that begins on Passover and ends on Shavuot. It's the 30 days of Omer, and it's always on the 18th day of Iyar, which is the month that we are in now, heading towards Shavuot in a couple weeks where we'll receive the Torah. And the word lag, like Paul said, comes from the Hebrew letters Lamed and Gimel, which together have the numerical value of 33, and BaOmer means the Omer. I've never played one of those weird pull things in the restaurants and bars of Wisconsin. But maybe lag, can you choose your numbers? Maybe we should choose the number. No, don't do that. That's a bad thing to do on Shabbat. Anyways, so this is where we are. This is the part of Leviticus, if I'm right, where it says Leviticus, where we see the idea of the counting of the Omer. I'm just going to read it because I have the microphone on, and that way everybody streaming can also hear me and also connected to the loop, but just follow along. And from the day on which you bring the sheaf of elevation offering, the day after the Sabbath, you shall count off 7 weeks. They must be complete, so that's till Shavuot. You must count until the day after the 7th week, 50 days. Then you shall bring an offering of new grain to Adonai. So Lag BaOmer is connected to this agricultural season that we're in the middle of. And Omer actually means the sheaf, right? And it actually means the sheep. So we are in this deep agricultural time. Our two of our major harvest holidays are Passover and Shavuot, and we are in our calendar, we're in the middle of it. And we are 33 days into it. But what is Lag BaOmer? We've talked for a couple minutes and we still have no idea what it's really about, other than maybe something about weddings, maybe something about bonfires, and you were right, we figured out the number. So this is reason one of Lag BaOmer. According to many, Lag BaOmer is the day on which the plague that killed Rabbi Akiva's 24,000 disciples came to an end. And for this reason, the mourning period of the counting of the Omer concludes on Lag BaOmer in many communities. So the days are mourning days. It's a period of mourning. And Rabbi Akiva, in somewhere around the year 100, 130, his disciples had a plague, and the plague stopped on Lag BaOmer. So this is around the time of the Bar Kokhba rebellion. If you ever took a class in law school about the Bar Kokhba together, about the Bar Kokhba rebellion, or if you ever took a class about it, and you're like, I sort of remember about this. This was the Jewish underground that was attacking the Romans after the destruction of the temple. Rabbi Akiva was connected to the Bar Kokhba rebellion, and so the plague that hit Rabbi Akiva's students ended on Lag BaOmer. And therefore, Marnie, you were right, it is customary not to get married between Passover and Shavuot until Lag BaOmer, because during that time the students of Rabbi Akiva died. And so once the plague ends, we can begin to increase our joy. What better way to increase our joy than to have a marriage celebration? If you go to Orthodox communities all across the world, whether they're in New York or New Jersey or Israel or wherever you are, it's a huge wedding festival day. Like you'll see wedding after wedding after wedding happening on Lag BaOmer because it is sort of a joyous day. And it is customary not to cut one's hair, until Lag BaOmer. Dale, that's why I cut my hair last week, since it is said that it is when they stop dying, those Akiva students. One should not cut one's hair until the 34th day in the morning, unless the 33rd day falls on Shabbat, in which case one may cut one's own hair then in honor of the Sabbath. Some Jews do the ushpirim. Have you ever heard of this? The ritual hair cutting at the age of 3 on Lag BaOmer. So some of you are saying, this is sort of interesting, but I still don't really understand what Lag BaOmer is. Is that you at all? All right. Any questions or comments about the first one? So yes, we are, Lag BaOmer, according to this, is the celebration of the end of a terrible plague. But what is Lag BaOmer reason number 2? Because, of course, we have to have more than reasons. Lag BaOmer commemorates the yahrzeit, the anniversary of death, of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, a Mishnaic sage and the author of the Zohar, a foundational work of Kabbalah. So this is somewhere around the year, around that same time as Rabbi Akiva, I think around the year maybe around 200, right? And this Kabbalistic, this deeply mystical rabbi died on Lag BaOmer, and that was, Lag BaOmer as a mystical holiday is celebrated in honor of Lag BaOmer, of his yahrzeit. Just turn the page. This mystical tradition identified Lag BaOmer as the day on which Rabbi Shimon Yaakov died, though there is academic controversy around that today. I think that's a pretty statement. It is an idea that has added much richness to the meaning of the day over the generations. Rabbi Shimon is traditionally seen as the author of the mystical work, the Zohar, and the founder. The following sources from the Hasidic master, Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech Shapiro, connects Lag BaOmer to a special kind of revelation leading up to the giving of the Torah at Sinai. So Lag BaOmer is one of these deep mystical holidays. If you're ever in Israel on Lag BaOmer, the city of Sfat, where the Kabbalists, some of you have been to the city of Sfat, they're known for the Kabbalists. This is a huge holiday in that town because it's connected to this Kabbalistic idea of the Zohar. Whether Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai actually died on Lag BaOmer, of course, we don't know. There's probably no reason to think that he did, but the idea of connecting that to the holiday as a way to honor the mystical connections. But if that's not enough, we have reason number 3. And what is Lag BaOmer? Reason number 3. The Chatam Sofer said it was on the 18th day of Iyar, Lag BaOmer, that the manna began to fall. If we remember, the wandering is happening after the exodus from Egypt. This is based on the idea that the food supply, also known as matzah, that we brought out of Egypt lasted until the 14th of Iyar, which marks the 14th of Iyar as the end of the Passover time frame, hence its choice by God for Pesach Sheni. Don't even worry about that. Then the people went hungry for 3 days. The 15th, the 16th, and 17th of Iyar, they complained, and they received the manna on the 18th. This adds to the celebratory nature of Lag BaOmer. So, reason 1, Akiva's plague of his disciples ended. Reason 2, the founder of Jewish mysticism, had a yahrzeit. And reason 3, why we celebrate Lag BaOmer, is because this is when the manna actually fell to nourish the Jewish people in their wandering. Thoughts, comments? Do you like any of those? Do you like none of them? How does anybody want to respond? We're starstruck. Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question. I don't understand. I get that there are these reasons for the holiday, but how did the holiday ever get set if it's not biblical?
Right, so this is a post-biblical holiday, right? We have other post-biblical holidays that happen within our calendar. So it came out of the Talmudic and the Mishnaic age after the destruction of the temple.
And those rabbis decided.
Exactly.
But they couldn't decide on the reason.
Well, they decided on lots of reasons.
Well, that's a single reason.
Right, so, yes. Paul?
What about this plague that afflicted 24,000 students over, what time frame and
Right.
what was it?
So it was COVID. Someone said it was not COVID. So what it probably was, and we don't actually know this, but it probably was a rebellion. And Rabbi Akiva was part of this rebellion, not as necessarily as a warrior, but around the time of the Bar Kokhba rebellion. And the Bar Kokhba rebellion was a rebellion against the Romans who had destroyed and razed the temple and destroyed Jerusalem and razed the temple, right? And so this was probably, and so it's been talked about that it was actually potentially a physical plague, but it probably what they're actually talking about was the Bar Kokhba rebellion. And so there's something about what happened on Lag BaOmer where the warriors or the fighters stopped fighting, something around connected to Lag BaOmer. You can read deeper about it if you're interested in it, but with your doctor hat on, you're like, how is there a plague that's impacting everybody there? Any other thoughts or questions about Lag BaOmer? Stephen?
I got a question from online.
Oh, wow.
All right, from Barb Woodruff. What is manna? Was it a type of mushroom?
This is a great question. So what was manna? This is a whole nother topic. The only thing I'll say is manna is some sort of like, I don't think it was a type of mushroom. There's just like something connected with coriander, but I can't answer more than that. But some of you have met Erin, many of you have met Erin. When Erin was a photojournalist in New York and she got assigned to photograph things for different newspapers, she got photographed. There was a restaurant, like only in New York, like a restaurant like somewhere on the Lower East Side that put manna on their menu. And I'm not joking, but and Erin got assigned to for the New York Times like dining section when she was photographing. She photographed manna. And so there, if you like put it in the New York Times archive, you can find a photo of what modern manna might have looked like from, it's 2008 or 2010 or something like that. Let's go back to Lag BaOmer, not about manna. Marnie.
Lag BaOmer is right in the middle. And if things were terrible up until Lag BaOmer and then it was okay, what happens to the rest between Lag BaOmer and Shavuot?
Good question. So some communities think of this as sort of like a turning and we're heading towards joy. And some communities actually do continue to have the mourning period between, and Lag BaOmer sort of like a blip in the days between Passover and Shavuot. But there are certain things in very traditional communities like you wouldn't do during these days. Like there's certain things that you wouldn't eat. There's certain parties that you wouldn't have. There's certain music that you wouldn't listen to. All that's sort of symbols of rejoicing, but you would do it on Lag BaOmer. So in the year 2006 or 2007, I was living in Israel, and there was the year, and it was the year, 1 year of the Israeli Baseball League. There was something called the Israeli Baseball League, and I went to a game with a great rabbi named David Foreman, who was a friend of ours. And so Paula probably knows him pretty well. And we become friends, and the two of us went. And we went into the game that we went was in a very traditional town called Beit Shemesh, and nobody bought any of the meat, like any of the hot dogs or the kebabs that were being sold, because it was done during the period of the counting of the Omer. Interesting story. Betsy.
I have two questions.
All
One
right.
really stupid and one super intelligent. Intelligent.
Which one first?
You decide. As I recall, when we're counting the Omer, there's like 7 factors over here and 7 things up there, and each day we're supposed to stop and reflect on the intersection of.
Yeah, that's right,
two
exactly.
disciplines. So what is today?
I don't know what today is. Irv, do you know what today? Because Irv does this every day as sort of a discipline, and I don't know what today was in terms of sort of like what the factors are. So I don't know the answer to that specifically on Lag BaOmer. It's a great question. We could figure that one out though. So yeah.
And the other one is, I may be making this up, but I seem to remember as a little girl that there was this like
dark, it was almost like a bark thing or something like that. That was like a symbol of Lag BaOmer, and I don't remember whether we ate it or what we did with it.
Cool, I don't know this.
Called Buxer.
What, tell me about it.
Carob.
Oh, it's a carob.
Because
So this is the, go ahead.
some people think carob was the mom.
Was the carob was a man, and also like there's big carob trees like there. This will be the time,
Peony and the carob.
right? And so if you are in Israel in a normal year, which is when is that ever true? But not in the last couple of years in Israel. Like Lag BaOmer is a huge holiday. You'll see in the parks all through the land of Israel. There's kids with bonfires and bows and arrows, and this probably has to somehow connect into the Bar Kokhba rebellion. Some of you have been there, Jake. Have you been there at this time? And so, as a modern holiday, like it has actually been sort of reclaimed a little bit in the sort of a Zionist idea. I'll just read this thing at the very end, and then we'll wrap up. Lag BaOmer is a Zionist celebration. It's very, certainly in Orthodox communities, we still see Lag BaOmer. Weddings, haircuts, joy out of this time. In more liberal, I use that word, the lowercase l, communities, it's not a holiday that we really celebrate, observe, know too much about, but certainly in Israel, it was reclaimed in the last 100 years as a real Zionist holiday. Although the date itself has strong ties to the holiday, Lag BaOmer became part of a popular Jewish practice only as a result of the Zionist movement. Prior to the establishment of the State of Israel, observant Jews in Palestine and around the world honored the scholar Rashbi on Lag BaOmer by lighting torches and singing songs. For young, that's Shimon Bar Yochai. For young Zionists of the time, those same bonfires and songs honored not a learned scholar, but young members of the Palmach, like the original Israeli fighting force, who fought to defend a state that at the time was only a dream. For Israelis today, Lag BaOmer symbolizes the Jewish fighting spirit. In the days before the holiday, we collect wood and borrow shopping carts to carry all the branches to the sites of our bonfires. People with guitars and marshmallows flock from all corners, gather at these sites for a night of singing and celebration. This has certainly changed in the last couple of years. This is from the Reform Judaism webpage, written well before October 7th, 2023. I haven't been to Israel at Lag BaOmer in recent times, but my hunch is that this is the energy and some of this has changed, and we can see that. But it's at some point it was really fun, s'mores and marshmallows and outdoors and picnics and mangals, these barbecues that are filled all over the land. So today's Lag BaOmer. I wish everybody a very happy Lag BaOmer. If you take an Uber home, wish your Uber driver a happy Lag BaOmer as well. And hopefully you learned a little bit about this holiday and maybe some connection to it. With that in mind, let's say our prayer for the counting of the Omer, and then we'll conclude our service. The prayer for the counting of the Omer is on 570. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting of the Omer. Read with me. We'll read the Hebrew and then the English. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Yom Omer. Hayom Lag BaOmer.
Lag BaOmer into the sunset.
Yeah, Lag BaOmer +1. So Shim ve'arba be'omer. Today is the 34th day, which is 4 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. Amen.
Amen.
If you're able, let's rise as we sing the words of Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula le'otzer b'reshit, shelo asanu kagoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adoma, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגור עלינו ככל המונם,
אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
Have a seat. We turn to our prayer of memory, Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 598. If I read the name of your loved one, I invite you to rise in their memory. We'll then say Kaddish together as one community. In this period of Shloshim, the 30 days since passing, our TBE community remembers Howard Bernstein, Evelyn Bernstein, Myrna Williamson, and Joan Siegel. In this period of Yahrzeit, the anniversary since passing, we remember with love Bernard Albert, David Ashkenazi, Gerson Bernstein, Rochelle Brodsky, Morris Carpenter, Edith Cohn, Jacob Engel, Edith Firschman, Earl Richard Friedman, Esther Goldstein, Gladys K. Greenberg, Barry Greenberg, Dr. Erwin Grossman, Harry Halperin, Edna Halperin, Henry Kaplan, Gloria Mendelson Kaplan, Nancy Kaufman, Samuel S. Kravitz, Marion C. Lowe, Avram Lubing, Melvin L. Potash, Gladys Silman, Kenneth Snow, Lillian Stauffer, Clara Swed, Evelyn M. Sweet, Patricia Weinsweig, Harriet Weintraub, Morris Zemmel, and Ethel Zemke. If you're thinking of someone else whose name I did not read, I invite you to rise and share their name at this time.
Ryan Dunn.
Let's rise as one. Yitkadal v'yishkadash shnei rabbah, v'yamad yivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyom echon, u'chayei t'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam ulnei homaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yifa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yithalel v'yithalal shemei d'kusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata b'nechemata da'amiram v'yama v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemayim v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav u'yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. We can sing our final song, our words of peace, our prayer for peace, the words Od Yavo, Shalom Aleinu. If you want to follow along, it's on 657. If you want to close your prayer book and just sing with us, that's fine too. Bottom of 657.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam again. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam, Aleinu
ve'al kol ha'olam,
Shalom, Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Shalom, Shalom.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Odibo Shalom Aleinu, Odibo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Let's say Kiddush together. Join with me on 123. Del, you have a cup too. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzav banu, b'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon chinchilanu, Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, Kihu yom techila lemikraye kodesh, Zecher letziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu bacharta, V'otanu kidashta, Mikol ha'amim, B'shabbat kodshecha, Be'ahava uvratzon, inchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat L'chaim. And we'll turn to Motzi. I should have done this before Kiddush, but does anybody have anything joyful in their life that they are celebrating or thinking about this week? Any good news that they want to say? Kiddush is about their cup running over. Moved and sold your house. That's a big deal. That's awesome. Mazel tov.
I tutor at the Literacy Network and helped someone pass their citizenship exam.
Ooh.
And a woman passed this week.
Cool. Well done. Nice.
I have a friend who was invested today as a judge on the Court of Appeals for the First Circuit, Federal Court of Appeals.
Cool.
And it was very moving because it was about the system.
Awesome.
It was really.
Cool. 3 good things. Anybody have a birthday or an anniversary or get a new puppy or anything happen this week? Oh, that's pretty, very clairvoyant. That's awesome. That's great. Well, that sounds like that's fun. So, anybody else?
I planted flowers.
Beautiful. In that garden. Well, it was joyful being with both of you on this Shabbat. Thank you for adding all of your talents and your good sense of humor and goodwill, always to Bethel for so many different ways. Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Shabbat shalom. Join us in the social hall and say hi to somebody new on their way out.